Full.
We're live on different streaming platforms right now. I do not know. There's no way. I don't. You separate them individually.
No, you pour them into your hand, and then you take them out of one hand with the other hand as by color. So it's not like you separate them. You just have a handful. You say, okay, I'll grab 2 green ones, or I'll grab 2 red ones. But I'm not about to eat a red one and a green one together because they taste different.
Skittles or fruit snacks?
Both.
Fuck that.
No. Fruit snacks too. Anything that doesn't have the same flavor, like I'm not just gonna just take them to the head like that.
You got to split them up by color. You got to enjoy
the
different. Don't. You got to enjoy your orange or your strawberry separately. You can't just.
Some of them terminal flavors don't necessarily jive together, bro. Like I don't be liking that.
How did you eat a fruit by the foot or a fruit roll up? Be honest.
Oh, I just ate those regularly.
No, did you eat the whole thing? Did you put the whole fruit roll up in your mouth?
Hell no.
No.
Who does that?
You did. You did that.
Fruit roll-ups, I definitely just ate the whole thing. But a fruit by the foot, you gotta take it slow.
Fruit by the foot, you're just choking down a whole entire like.
I'm not choking down a foot, bro. That's not happening.
Choking down those ropes. Good Lord. Welcome to the One Take Podcast, episode 72. This week we are reviewing Black Widow, the most anticipated movie review. Not movie, but movie review of 2021. Yeah, but to be honest,
specifically about Black Widow.
Yeah, but actually, not lying, this might be the most anticipated movie of the last couple of years, for being honest.
We brought this movie up on this podcast like 20 times, so that has to mean something.
I mean, it was supposed to come out literally almost 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it is the first Marvel movie that we have seen in 2 years. So it has to be like one of the most, I know people in my theater loved it. Even if it wasn't the best Marvel movie, we'll get into it. But like people were like,
we had a great fucking time.
Yeah. People were jonesing to get back to
my theater loved it. They absolutely loved it.
All right, let's get into it. Black Widow. A film about Natasha Romanoff and her quest between the film Civil War and Infinity War. That's pretty much it. That's what it was on IMDb. That is literally it. It's directed by Kate Shortland, who you would not know from anything. She's done some critically acclaimed films in Europe, but nothing that you would know. It was written by Eric Pearson, Jack Schaefer, and Ned Benson. Stars Scarlett Johansson, David Harbour, Ray Winstone, Rachel Weisz, and no one else. Doesn't start.
Yeah, no one else of note in this movie, especially not for this podcast.
No, it stars the GOAT, the God, Florence Pugh, who we'll get this out of the way. Absolutely. Like it's going to come off as like thirsty, but like she actually does steal the show in this movie. It's crazy.
Smoked it, man. She was incredible.
We've been singing this woman's praises for months, years on this podcast now. So over a year. So it's crazy that when she actually comes out and she's throwing fastballs, like Shohei Ohtani, like 101 mile an hour fastballs.
Yeah, she was so good that people were literally walking out of the theater and immediately tweeting me, "Hey, dude, I get it now." Like, I see what you're talking about. Like most people who've seen Midsommar or whatever, or like they understood, they knew, but people who hadn't seen movies like that, who watched Marvel movies, which is like the rest of America, they were like, "She's amazing. I understand what the fuck we're talking about. I'm on the wave. I'm on the bandwagon. We are here."
The rest of us idiots that didn't watch like Little Women or Lady Macbeth.
Yeah. Those of us who weren't watching fucking WWE movies are finally on board.
She just crushed it, man. We're assuming that she's going to take the mantle as Black Widow. That's not something they allude to directly in the movie, but I think that we all see that's where it's going.
It's pretty heavy alluded.
And we are in good hands, bro. Having her in the MCU is just going to be fun. It's just going to be incredibly fun. I'm very excited that she's in.
She is only 25 years old, but she matched seasoned veterans like David Harbour, Rachel Weisz, who's like slowly like all-time great actress too. Has been in some really good stuff. Not Oscar nominated. Scarlett Johansson, Oscar nominated, has been and lived in this character for years, for hell, nearly 15 years, I think, probably at this point. And so, right?
Do y'all know how old Rachel Weisz is? I looked this up. Do y'all? But I want you to tell me how old do you think she is?
54.
I'm gonna go 48.
I didn't think that she was that old. She is 50, or I think 51. She's only like 10 years older than Scarlett Johansson, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, she matched those guys really, really well, and it's crazy to think that just at 25, it makes me so angry that at 25 she's just like dominating. It's like when you reach that age when you start to see in acting or anything, but in sports especially, when you start to see like Devin Booker like in the NBA finals. Fuck.
Yeah, you're watching
that guy's that young, that rich, that talented. Yeah. Fuck my life.
You're watching 18-year-olds get drafted in the NBA, and you're like, man, fuck.
God damn it! I'm on a podcast talking about it. No, so this is doing numbers like we said it would. Close to 200 million at the box office already. Probably was it the article that I said over 200 million? It's like 215 or something like that. Was that, or is
something
that?
I think it was something like that. And also a huge number just from people watching at home, which is absolutely fascinating.
Domestic gross, meaning at the actual theater, $80 million. But the real number is, and Disney was so quick to release this, that all access, the premium access Disney Plus, they have made $60 million.
Jesus Christ.
At $30 a pop, man. That so many people watch this movie.
$60 million. Jesus. They are never, ever, 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 ever going back to, for Marvel's films, they're not going back to just theaters. They're not going to do it.
No, because they know it's like a theaters. They know the people that really want to see a movie in theater will go see it in theater, and everybody else who has 7 kids or 4 kids, they're more than happy to give you $30 to be like, I can sit at home. I don't have to buy snacks. I don't have to worry about the kids in the theater. I can just turn it on at home. You can have my $30 every time.
And those fringe guys that are just like, I want to watch it again, like you almost did today.
I almost paid $30 to watch it again. I almost did that.
It's so good. This is the perfect way to release movies. Is if you want to watch it at home, you and your loud ass, annoying ass kids can watch it at home and leave the rest of us the fuck alone. We can go to the movie theater. This is the perfect way to release movies.
A little bit of a blessing in disguise, because I went into IMAX and I, bought my ticket, bought my candy and everything else. And I watched the movie by myself, as the good Lord intended. And I sat there, and when you were reserving seats, which is a great feature that everyone is actually using now for the first time in their lives. Incredible. Thank God. But like, when you looked at it, there was whole rows blocked off on the reserve seat, and I was like, fuck, there is a birthday party here or something like that. I'm like, God damn. Luckily it wasn't. They all stayed home and watched this on Disney Plus. But the theater experience with this, and we can talk about this, it's a genuine, it's not something that I didn't even get with Fast 9, where people were like, in Fast 9 were like having a good time, but this, like, the community laughed. They like were in awe. They were sad. It's something that Marvel has figured out how to do that with the theater experience that makes movie going still a good thing. So it's kind of sad that it's dying a little bit, but they're still going to release that in theaters because, like I said, they still made $80 million.
Yeah. Just in a couple of days, like on what Black Widow's probably B tier, C tier, like of the MCU. Like, this is,
I think that we all like it, but it's not going to be in anybody's top 10, top 15 MCU movies. And that's the kind of money that they make from a movie like this, which is like, here, take this. And it's like, oh, wow, $80 million in 3 days just in the theater. That's crazy.
81% on Rotten Tomatoes, 92% audience score. Critics' consensus: Black Widow's deeper themes are drowned out in all the action, but it remains a solidly entertaining standalone adventure that's rounded out by stellar supporting cast. And I will say this is one of the better supporting casts in any Marvel film that I think I've seen, like outside of like Captain America Winter Soldier or something like that. Mm-hmm. Everyone was on point. Like David Harbour committed 1,010%.
He was great.
He's just like, I'm going to be fat and old. And he was great. Yeah, it was really, really good. And like we said, Florence Pugh stole the show. But all that to say, let's go ahead. Dex, you're first. Give it a review.
I really, really enjoyed this movie, man. I like you said, I was just so happy to be back watching a Marvel movie with all these strangers in the movie theater at my local AMC. It just lived up to all the hype for me. Like, obviously, they could have released this movie years ago, like when it was supposed to happen, like between Civil War and Infinity War or whatever. They could have released it then. Probably would have been better. Would have made more sense. But we accepted that going in. We knew that like before the movie came out. We knew from the trailers. We knew from everything that they released about this movie. That's what we were getting. A movie that should have come out years ago. So once you accept that, it's just a fun ride, man. The action is really good. There are multiple set pieces in this where me and my little brother, who I went and saw the movie with the first night, we were just like looking at each other like, yo, like it's just a fun time. Florence Pugh is hilarious in this movie. David Harbour's hilarious. They give you like enough of the family theme and stuff like that. Fortunately, I don't give a fuck about Taskmaster in the comics or Taskmaster in general, so I didn't care about what they did to the character. I thought it was cool to have somebody just show up, look cool, give people the beats, and then like go away. I didn't really care about anything else with Taskmaster. So yeah, man, this movie is definitely like a solid B plus, like teetering towards an A minus. I just really enjoyed it. It's not the best Marvel movie or anything like that. It's not top 5 or whatever, but this was a good one. I like this one a lot, and it was a nice one to come back with for them.
Yeah, there's caveats to the Marvel stuff now because there's so many movies now too that you can be like, well, I feel, and I said this, I put this on Twitter, I feel like this is one of the better standalone films, you know, like truly standalone films in a long time. I don't know, maybe since, like, I wouldn't even count Thor Ragnarok as a standalone film because the Hulk is there. Yeah, Loki's in there. Like, I mean, Loki's in the Thor films, but like, you know, it's probably a better, as good of a standalone film. I mean, Spider-Man Far From Home, I think, is probably the last one that we've gotten. And I know that was the end of, what do you call it? But I think it's up there with Spider-Man Far From Home. It's definitely better than the first couple of Thor movies. The first I think it's better than the first Captain America. Of course, you know how I feel about that.
Even like, I think that, and I love the first Captain America.
It's better. Yeah, it's better than 2 Iron Man films. So it's like, it's up there. I'd say it's one of the better standalone films.
Shitting on Captain Marvel. Like,
yeah,
it's not even close.
I liked Captain Marvel, but this shit's on Captain Marvel. Like I was fine with Captain Marvel, but yeah, this is a different level. Am I going?
Yeah, Tej, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So the Marvel, they're so smart about this, and you've seen it through the films. They're always trying to account for scope. You have some people in the MCU who literally can throw moons at people, or like literally shift timelines, or like destroy planets, right? So you have powers that are that high, and so to kind of come down to the ground level and have a movie about humans, like there's a superhero in this movie, but he is fat and out of shape. So it doesn't feel like you're watching a superhero. Even though he's the strongest Cap, he's fat and out of shape, and we're laughing at him the whole time. So it's like we're watching a movie about humans, which is not something that you can really get in the MCU when you're on the highest levels. It's the same thing you see with Captain Marvel. It was really smart of like, this person is all powerful, but they don't know it yet. So like you're watching her as she realizes the true extent of her power, because if she realized the true extent of her power in the first 10 minutes of the movie would only be 10 minutes long. Mm-hmm. So you have a scope issue that they are always very cognizant of, and just fitting a movie right in between the Civil War, right when the Avengers aren't really talking, allows you to make a movie like this. It allows you to say the Avengers are out of play right now. Whatever that we're going to encounter, all these women are in slavery. It is a bit weird that he got to enslave 10,000 women or whatever that number is before anybody was like, yo, we should probably do something about this. But whatever. Yeah. Like, they had to solve this problem. They didn't have the Avengers. They didn't have a Quinjet. They didn't have the X-Men. They didn't have any of these beings that we've seen in past films or we're going to see in present films. It was just like some people that can die who are highly trained. And then there was a superhero who was fat. And it was just like so cool, because as you're watching these set pieces, you're like, people are dying. Like, and not just like people around, like on the outskirts, like these people are being shot at. They could die. Now, obviously, we know Natasha's not going to die because we know where we're at in the timeline, yeah. And we know she dies later. But like, you know, there was a scene that they set up where you were at least thinking that Florence Pugh might die here. Like she tried to sacrifice herself for the greater good, and she thought she was going to die, and she obviously did not, because
I never once thought she was going to die.
Natasha went crazy. That was the cool. That scene was so cool. Just her jumping and getting Florence Pugh and the way that they're free falling, it's just so dope.
That was a very
They basically just made a small little Mission Impossible movie, and if anyone who likes a spy thriller like Mission Impossible or other kind of movies like that, this is what this is. Like, there's car chases, there's shootouts, there's fist fights, and that's just the story. And it just felt so cool to me to be sitting there like there's no Iron Man in this movie. There's no Hulk in this movie. They're not fighting super bad guys with superpowers. Like, it's literally just humans having human conflict. And I thought it was like much needed and like a great reprieve from some of the, I mean, we just saw Endgame and Infinity War. Those are massive, like literally planetary universal events. Like, they're going from planet to planet. Like, Natasha has been on different planets, but right now she's just like in going around and on Earth trying to solve a human problem. And
we literally see her die in like a netherworld. So
yes, like she literally died in outer space. Like, so to see her on the ground, like
driving an SUV through Europe,
getting kicked off a bridge by Taskmaster, like that shit was just cool. Like, I really enjoyed the movie. It's funny at the right times. It's entertaining. It's not too long of a film, and it was a good send off for Natasha. We learned a little bit about her backstory, and it was a great send off for ScarJo. She just did so much great work. I love the scene at the end where she's finally in the blonde again, and she just looks so pretty. And that's the last time we're about to see her alive. So it's like that's a perfect send off for her to have like a heartfelt moment and to talk about family. I just thought it really worked on a lot of different levels. I would give it a solid B+.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree. A B+ all around. But now every B+ is built different. Like, this B+ is not built the same as like a Fast and the Furious B+ or whatever it is. But like it's my main complaint, and maybe it's unfair, and I know people may like shit on this take, is that this movie should have come out 5 years ago. Like, it just should have. She deserved to have this movie come out 5 years ago. And maybe that's unfair. Like, maybe people weren't clamoring for a Black Widow movie, and maybe it took her. No,
I wasn't.
Well, yeah, and maybe it took her dying or whatever. Teacher Mike may have glitched again, but go ahead. Oh, he's frozen. Your mic again, man. Oh no, 2 times.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
There you are, yeah.
Sorry, I was saying I was agreeing with Dex. I was also not looking for a Black Widow movie, but I also wasn't looking for a Loki TV show or a Vision TV show. It's just the mouse overlords just tell me where to go and I just go.
Yeah, they're like Apple. You don't know that you want their shit until they give it to you. You're like, I needed this my entire life. Where were you?
Oh, you can take pictures at night. Thank God. No, the thing with this is I felt like it should have come out 5 years ago. But that didn't diminish from my enjoyment of the movie. I think it would have benefited it if it was correctly in the timeline or whatever, and we knew it. There was a little bit more, because you're saying, Tej, like, there are stakes, but for me, knowing, like, if you don't know, if you go into this blind, if this is the first ever Marvel film you've ever seen, like, you're just kind of like, you're confused at the end when she's, spoiler alert, dead at the end of the movie. So, like, by the way, this entire review is a spoiler review. So sorry. But the thing with that is it didn't hold that much weight for me because I knew kind of where they were going. I never once expected Florence Pugh to die. Maybe they were going to knock off David Harbour or Rachel Weisz. Like, that's, maybe they were going to do that. And they established, like, he's kind of an asshole, but you still like him because he's David Harbour. He's like really funny, and the rapport is there, so you end up liking the guy. But it's which is really funny because he's like a Soviet era spy. We're just kind of like, aha! Like,
he's upset the Soviet party didn't go far enough.
Ugh. Okay, like, awkward, but I'm here. Whatever, we're already here. But I think that, and I said this before, Florence Pugh absolutely stole the show.
Facts.
Her confidence on screen is incredible. Not one decision that she made on screen looked like it was second guessed or that they had to tell her to do something different than what she was already doing. It was just, it flowed. She had a great rapport with ScarJo, which was really good. I just, her comedy bits too were actually like
incredible,
really good.
Really
which
funny.
was she was the comedic, her and David Harbour were the comedic relief in this movie, which is crazy. No, I think, and to address the Taskmaster thing, I didn't necessarily like what they did with Taskmaster. Like, I understand the need for some of these villains. Like, not every villain, we've said this as a problem before on it, not every villain needs a huge backstory. Like, we don't need like you to feel bad for the villain, or which they kind of try to do at the very end of this movie, but they try to make you like sympathize with who she is. But the thing that what I've seen from Taskmaster is basically only the PS4 Spider-Man game. So I'm just sitting here going, if you're gonna keep her around, which they do at the end of the movie, obviously they don't kill. Spoiler alert: they do not kill this woman, and they do not kill Taskmaster at the end of the movie. And it's a very ominous thing that like you can't beat this person because it mimics whatever it knows what you're going to do, and anyone you've ever fought with or against, it knows what they're going to do as well. But then they just didn't give them any dialogue, and maybe they wanted it just to be an ominous threat or whatever. They didn't give them any dialogue. They didn't give them anything really to do. Like they show up at the very beginning. She fights Natasha. They show
Whoops
up
her ass.
Yeah, they show up with the tank.
Her ass.
He shoots an arrow at them, and then there's only like one more fight scene, and they intercut the fight scene with David Harbour's character. They intercut that with a bunch of other stuff, so you don't get like the real sort of fight there. There's just more that they could have done with it. I didn't hate the interpretation as much as I did. They should have done more with there actually being a villain. And I guess the real villain is the child trafficker. But like the thing there is though too, there's some heavy themes that they suggest in the very beginning of this movie, like very heavy themes, like child trafficking and like child slavery and things like that. There's some very heavy, and like
how much we just don't care about what happens to the girls,
to women
in the world.
Yeah,
they have a whole joke about like forced
sterilization.
Basically removing their sexual organs, and it was just like the reproductive organs. I was just like, Jesus, that plays as a joke in a Disney movie. Like that's such a weird decision to me.
Yeah, it was obviously this was a movie written for women, about women, directed by a woman, and that's great. That's great to see. They could have played on if they wanted to go the extra step, which it's a Marvel movie. Like, we're here for the spectacle a little bit, but if they wanted to like hit like Dark Knight territory, I feel like they would have gone even further down that road. But it starts at some point to get like hella dark, where you're just like, okay, maybe we need to back off this PG-13 Disney movie a little bit. But yeah, there is a forced sterilization joke in there. Like, we can't have kids as they ripped out our uterus. Like, you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, and there's parts of the movie where it's like we're seeing a lot more like bone breaks than normal.
Yeah,
like for an MCU.
When that woman falls off that pillar and like is just laying there like, help me. You're just like, oh shit.
She got the Conor McGregor ankle.
Please don't do this.
Your boy got cooked, dude.
Please don't do this, guys.
Gravity cooked your boy.
This is not an MMA podcast. Please don't do this.
Embarrassing for you, guy.
And then fucking David Harbour breaks that dude's wrist. Nowhere.
Doing arm wrestling.
Yeah, and then they show like ScarJo all bruised up. Florence Pugh, like it's a big thing when she gets like injured or whatever and is bleeding all over the place. I was like, yeah, like
ScarJo was getting cooked in this movie. ScarJo,
she took some beats.
She took some beats from the Black Widows. She got completely beat down by the main villain dude, sex trafficker dude, Dreykov, I think his name is.
She broke her own face.
And I don't know how she didn't break all of her legs when they fall out of the building and they land on that pillar and the pillar crashes down. The way she was hitting stuff on the way down, I'm like, oh, ScarJo is paralyzed. Wow, what a crazy way for this movie to go. They paralyzed this character that I saw walking in the film that takes place after this. But sure,
yeah, sure,
gotta get up and walk from that.
But yeah, it's not like Fast and Furious where you're watching these people and nothing happens to them and they're fine, they're invincible or whatever. Like, nah, like these people are getting fucked up. They show ScarJo bruised up, got to take an ibuprofen, all that shit. I was like, yo.
They really like leaned into these are just these are still humans. This isn't Thor.
Yeah.
This isn't, this isn't even Iron Man in a metal suit. These are people that just have guns and, provocative suits. Like
went to the WWE training facility.
Yeah. So
it's so interesting because there's no time to it's not like Black Widow wins all her fights when she's in one of the larger movies. If she's in an Avengers movie, she doesn't win every fight, but you don't just see her get like bludgeoned like that. Like they just don't have time to show that. So having that time to kind of zoom in on her and like she's getting cooked by regular people, they're just like beating the shit out of her down in the basement. I'm like, God damn.
Got cooked like Falcon.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this movie deserved to come out 5 years ago. I think it would have made more sense and given it a little bit more stakes. But
then we don't get Florence Pugh.
That is true. She
was perfect.
And she really was. And if you're going into this and you're just like, who is this woman? Like, get on board, buddy, because she's the funny one. She's the really, really, and also her action scenes are really good too, because the fight scene between her and ScarJo was like,
they were beating the fuck out of each
other.
I
was like, good Lord. Like they didn't even talk. They were just like, all right, time to fight.
Throwing each other into the wall and shit. Like they were fucking each other up.
She has great fight confidence, probably because she did a movie about a WWE star, which has no right to be a good movie, but somehow it is because Florence Pugh is amazing. Like, there's no right for this movie to be good. And yeah, it's like a super compelling watch. She's just good in everything, but we hadn't really seen her do like an action movie. Like she obviously, like I just said, did a WWE movie, but like this is an action movie. And this is the first time we've seen her hold a gun. This is the first time we've seen her like fight. And she has so much confidence, like holding a gun, holding a knife. These are things that we take for granted because we see so much of it as we watch movies. But like we've never seen her do that stuff before. So we didn't know that she could do it. And she just looks so natural in it. And she just looks so confident in it. I was super impressed with the performance.
Keeping an accent the entire time. She has a Russian accent the entire time. Shout out to ScarJo for being the only one that didn't have to do a Russian accent.
But yeah, man, Florence Pugh, she from what she says and what everyone else says, she really committed to like actually learning how to do most of the stunts that were like reasonable for her to do. So like, I feel like that just kind of adds to it. Like the legend of Florence Pugh out here doing her own stunts and shit. Her and Tom Cruise are gonna put up 1 billion points in a Mission Impossible movie at some point.
Tom Cruise better get her on the line right now for the next Mission Impossible. She's perfect, man. She has the dry humor. She could fight. She's willing to do her own stunts. She's not willing to drive herself into like certain death like Tom Cruise, but she'll do some of the stunts with him. Like, let's do it.
She's not going to learn to fly a helicopter, but
Tom Cruise be like, learn how to fly this jet or you're not in this movie. learn how to like learn how to free solo a cliff or you're not in this movie.
I need it. I need it yesterday. I need the announcement that Florence Pugh is going to pop up in a Mission Impossible movie. She's perfect. She can even do the same Russian accent. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I was gonna say she's already British. Like she can just easily just use her regular ass voice.
No, I think that obviously her comedy bits were really funny too, because the bit about I cried in the theater when they're like, why are you an Avenger? And they're like, what? And he's like, well, I don't think the god from space has to take a Advil after a fight. I was like, all right, good point.
The moment
her making fun of ScarJo's posing was just good. The whole like that bit was just funny every time.
Hilarious, especially at the end when she did it herself and then was like, ugh.
It's like, oh no.
She gets like the shivers. She's like, ugh.
That scene where she's talking about her vest with all the cool pockets and shit, and ScarJo's like, no, that shit sucks. I knew you liked it.
I knew you liked it. It's awesome.
When she was flying the helicopter over the prison and like it starts getting shot, so it starts like slowly like crashing and it's fucking up the mission. And ScarJo's like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like, what are you doing?" She's like, "I think that we're both doing a good job. I think that everybody's doing a good job here." Yeah. Like she was just the dry humor just worked so perfectly for her. Like I just think it was natural for her. I don't know a lot about Florence Pugh the person, but it just felt like that kind of level of dry humor was perfect for her and really perfect for what she's going to represent when she is Black Widow in a bigger Avengers movie. They all kind of have a different level of humor. Thor is more taking jokes, and you have Star-Lord that's saying dumb shit, but she really fits in to that role where she's got kind of that dry humor. I am a bit scared that if her and Captain Marvel are on scene to have the same type of humor, and I think that we have to differentiate those two. I feel like they're in the same vein of humor.
Oh, I hope she gives Clint Barton the beats. I hope
yes,
bro. That post credit scene
his ass
made me so fucking excited for that Hawkeye show because I knew
also Haley Steinfeld's in it.
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld's in it. I knew Florence Pugh was going to be in it. I just didn't know like what she was going to be doing. But
wait, was that announced? We already knew Florence Pugh was going to be in the Hawkeye show.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that. So I was really I was like, oh shit, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, count me the fuck in, bro. More Florence Pugh for me. Let's go.
I saw that post-credit scene. I was like, let's fucking go. But yeah, the thing that keeps this movie like in that like B+, maybe A- tier instead of being like hard A or A+ or whatever. Watching it the second time because I went and saw it and I saw it to get in theaters because some of my friends who hadn't seen it wanted to go. There's that stretch in the middle where they're like on the farm. They meet back up with Rachel Weisz. And like they're just talking to each other, and it's really, really good, but it goes on just a beat too long.
Yeah,
like there's a beat too long with no like action scene or anything like that. And then when the Red Room comes and raids the house, like that's over too quickly. And like you said, they could have given Taskmaster like one more fight where she just beats the fuck out of somebody.
Yeah, and he shows up, or she shows up, and you're just like, oh well, maybe. But yeah, there's only like 3 set pieces for the Taskmaster, and then the final one after they fall through the sky, which is objectively a really awesome set piece when they're really just like dope. Doing a like falling on the panels, and he takes the sword out and like, yeah, that's really cool. But then they get to the ground, and then it's just like, I'm not gonna fight
that
you.
Fight was that fight was like 40 seconds long. It was like, oh, I would have liked some. I had 2 major gripes with the movie. The first one was just the Nirvana cover to start the film. While I see where they were going, I just hated it. Ugh.
Apparently, this is a controversial take because people are coming at you like that cover is
people
amazing.
Really liked it, but it's one of those things where people either really like that song.
It's not as bad
really
as
hated it.
It's not as bad as the dude that said straight up said I hate.
Yes, like that led to. Luckily, he said that, so then I didn't get packed up. He got packed up because he said he actually dissed the source material, which you never do. I didn't like that cover, even though I really liked that montage. The montage is super dark, but like I liked it. I just didn't like the song choice. And my other big gripe is I have no idea what the motivations are of Rachel Weisz's character. I do not understand what that character was trying to accomplish at any given moment. I literally don't like. So you work for the mad scientist. You just help him design all this stuff
for decades.
You've been doing this for decades. You are maybe the top brain in this company, and all of a sudden you realize that your fake daughter was one of the people who was subjugated, and it's not even made clear in the film that is the reason why she decides to go against him. I actually don't know why she chooses to go against him. It just like wasn't fleshed out enough
because she kept a fake photo album. That's why.
Yeah, like if we're gonna spend that much time in that barn, you need to make sure that when we leave this barn, I understand why she's marching now to go forward with the team. And if it's a family, then give me that. But like, if we're going to spend that much time at the barn, I need to be very clear about why Rachel Weisz's character is going away from what she's been doing for literally decades. And in a flip of a hat, she's like, okay, I'm on your side now. I thought that was weird, but I just like seeing Rachel Weisz and stuff. She was awesome. She's
great like, I'm tired of smelling pigs, man. I'm just out. I'm out.
Speaking of, Deadass thought she was about to just kill that pig at the table.
Too.
I was like, yo, what are we doing?
That scene was so good.
Murder on screen in a Disney movie. Yeah, there's some parts of this movie that are objectively very dark, but it's kind of brushed away in the family dynamic. And that's where if they would have just gone like, you know what, this is just going to be a dark movie. This is going to be a dark movie, like, and have some bits of humor because you need those bits of humor like throughout. Yeah. Like it worked really well, but it's just you know, they didn't go 110% with that. And I think that may have helped. If you would have done that, that may have helped flesh out the Rachel Weisz character a little bit more. What I did like about that family dynamic is them straight up coming out and be like, you were literally not our parents. That's a mind fuck, because I was kind of sitting there going like, wait, what? Like it was like they've been super spy. Those girls have been like spies since they were little
from birth.
Like
ScarJo
that is crazy.
They saw ScarJo as fucking young Messi out there in Argentina. And they were like, "You're fucking coming,
elite.
That kid's got it,
whatever it is." Yeah, and another thing that I take points off for a little bit towards the end is I didn't necessarily like the interactions between ScarJo and the main big bad guy.
Oh, that was awful.
Really
objectively awful. I'm sorry.
I didn't really like it. I thought it was good acting. Like I didn't think it was bad acting. Obviously, I mean his Russian accent was terrible, but they just didn't do anything with it. It was just kind of like, this is why I'm doing this. And then all of a sudden to throw in the MacGuffin or the smoking gun of, I don't even know the MacGuffin of, oh, you can't attack me because of the pheromone thing. I was kind of like, oh, come on.
That I didn't mind until
I liked it.
Until the moment that ScarJo goes, sever the nerve. I was like, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck is
bangs her head just
I thought that was badass. That whole scene kind of worked for me. I didn't hate it.
I just think they didn't.
I hated this.
I don't, and also it took away from, I mean, obviously you give Florence Pugh another moment to go do her thing and fight some more people and run around and do some stuff. You intercut David Harbour fighting Taskmaster, but intercutting that with them just having a back and forth conversation and ScarJo being the Black Widow, not fighting anyone until all the other women come in is like, feels like a waste. Like there could have been more going on there.
I liked it. I just hated that sever the nerve line. I thought it was a weird line in the first place. I thought it was a weird plot thing to do. I thought it was delivered weirdly. And then she like smashed her face into a table. And I'm watching it. I'm like, does that work? Like, can you just smash your face into a table and not smell things now? Is that how the body works? I don't know. I just did not dig that. Like that just sever the nerve part. The build up to that was cool, but that actually happening, I was like, what the fuck is this?
The sexual chemistry between her and Oti Fedabinle, or however you pronounce his name, was interesting as Mason.
Is that the friend? The Mason guy. Got
yeah, I thought they were gonna do more with that, and then they just didn't.
She's dead now.
Is there any chance that when in the final credit scene when Val says pretty handsome guy, isn't he? Is there any chance, because Clint's married, right? He is a kid, wife and kid. Is there any chance of a love interest between Florence Pugh and Clint that pops up?
God, I hope not.
Me either.
I hope not either, but that my first thought was, oh shit. But then I was like, oh no, Clint's married. They probably won't go down that road. But then I was like, they might kill his family. Again.
You have his daughter is what's her name? Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, his daughter is his daughter going to be a young Avenger?
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld.
She's
also
okay. They won't kill his family.
Yeah, a version of Hawkeye.
Florence Pugh and Haley Steinfeld love connection though. Let's go.
I'm in.
I'm there for it. Respectfully, I am there for it. But you have the problem though with you're not there for Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Though,
yeah,
Jack.
Not in general. I'm talking about in the MCU. Her character,
not in everyday life, but
in regular life, I am a big JLD fan. But yeah, her character in the MCU for the far just doesn't work for me. She had like a few scenes in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that didn't really work for me. I'm so confused about what the fuck she's doing.
This was also supposed to come out before Falcon and the Winter Soldier, before you saw her in that.
Yeah.
Too, by the way. So just to clarify, but
so, yeah, it still would have been even more confusing because like I still don't understand what the fuck she's supposed to be doing. Like and her lines are like
wait for the Thunderbolts, bro. Wait for the Thunderbolts. It's coming.
Her lines are clunky and weird. I don't know. Like they're supposed to be funny, but nobody laughed. Like in my theater, we were all just kind of like, okay, this is happening. Cool.
My problem is that I just go, oh, that's Elaine.
I don't even have that problem. Like
I have that problem
Because I can do that with pretty much any of the MCU characters. Like I could watch Florence Pugh the entire time, and just be like, yeah, that's Florence Pugh, like who I've been standing for a year now. But yeah, something about JLD's character so far, I'm just very confused. Maybe they'll explain it when she has like actual scenes to advance actual plot. But
they want her to be Nick Fury, but JLD's doesn't have this. She's great, but I don't know if she has the same gruff.
Y'all gonna eat these words when Thunderbolts comes out and she's on screen for a longer amount of time. Y'all gonna be like, how did I ever not like this character? I guarantee you.
I hope so. I want that to happen. And like I said in the group chat, I will never doubt Kevin Feige. I'm with him till the wheels fall off. But so
never
far,
I'm
not seeing it for JLD in the MCU right now.
What was y'all's favorite set piece of this? I really like the car chase scene.
Car chase is awesome.
I thought that foot chase, like between when they break into the apartment and that whole, there's a good 30-minute stretch of this movie where Florence Pugh and her fight. They talk for about like 5 seconds. The rest of the Black Widow's and they're in another foot chase, and then they're in a car chase.
And then another foot chase.
Yeah. I thought that whole sequence was really good. Plus the falling through the air thing was just something that we hadn't really seen. Like that was something you would see in a
Mission
Impossible movie for sure. And he'll do it. They did it actually in Mission Impossible.
I was just gonna say they've already done it.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, all the ones you mentioned are great, especially that long one, like when she first meets back up with Florence Pugh is probably the best one. But also, like that first appearance of Taskmaster, I was like, yo, this shit is fucking legit. Like he was fucking her up and like did her pose and all that shit. Like kicked her off a bridge. I was like, Taskmaster's a fucking problem.
I love the first Taskmaster appearance. I was like, yo, Taskmaster's going to put up 100 points in this film. Taskmaster didn't drop 100, but Taskmaster had a really good first quarter. I was into it.
I don't know what they do with that character now going forward, because she's an actress that has been in some stuff. She's been in a James Bond movie and some other things. So she's I recognized her when like they took the helmet off, but I don't know because she's basically a cyborg, which I guess the Taskmaster in the comics, I don't know. Like comic book nerds are going to be a really...
Put her in some Tony Stark tech and let's get her back out there. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess so. But she's a villain. Like the Taskmaster thing's a villain throughout. Like I don't think the Taskmaster person has like a breaking good thing. And that's why I think people are upset, because it's like they try to like redeem this person as something, but in any other media, it's a kind of ominous villain that kind of shows back up to like fuck shit up every.
We need to talk about what we feel about the source material and whether we care about.
Well, let's do that. Let's do that now. These are a big resounding no.
Go to Dex for this.
Dex, go ahead, lead it off, because we had somebody in our mentions being like, "Well, I don't think," and we're like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like,
listen, fam.
They hadn't done this shit for 10
We mean this respectfully, but please listen to us.
With all due respect, it's been like 10, 11, 12 years at this point. We are so fucking past the source material at this point. All right. We fucking get it. Okay. You read comic books that none of us fucking read. You know shit that none of us will ever fucking know. And that will get you absolutely nothing watching these motherfucking movies, because the MCU does not give a shit about what Taskmaster is like in the comics. All right. I don't need you and your fucking theories all the fucking time telling me how shit's gonna be because you read it in fucking Taskmaster Secret Adventures edition 73. All right, get the fuck out of here. We know how MCU movies work. We know how MCU shows work at this point. We're not gonna get to episode 7 of an MCU show and then have a fucking all-powerful villain who no one's ever heard of come in a week before the finale of the show. All right, fuck your theories. There's no Mephisto. There's no fucking Kang the Conqueror. Get the fuck out of here. All right, Howard the Duck's not coming back. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck the source material. Watch the movies. See what's presented to you in your fucking face and make some theories off of that shit. Stop trying to read 80 bajillion comic books and tell me that that's how shit is supposed to be. We are so fucking past that. These are adaptations. They're doing something different with the source material. I don't give a fuck about the source material. If the source material was that fucking popular, everybody would have read it by now. Nobody's reading that shit. Do you know why? Because we like movies. We don't give a fuck about comic books. All right. None of us would know where to go read a comic book with Taskmaster in it right now. Do y'all know what comic books Taskmaster is in? Because I don't.
No, I don't.
Nope. There's a drive in the deep left field by Castellanos.
So fuck what Taskmaster is like in the comics. We don't care. These are MCU movies. They have the biggest fucking movie series following of all time. Second, maybe behind Star Wars. Who knows? Either way, they're their own thing at this point. Like, sure, the comics like kind of inform like a little bit of guidance, just a little bit, but not that fucking much. All right, get the fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck about the source material and what it says. Get the fuck out of my face.
From downtown, bang.
That's facts. That's all facts.
No, I will say
if you want to go see the Taskmaster from your source material, just open up those old comics and go and have a blast, and no one's gonna stop you. But as for us, we are gonna be in the movie theaters. And Taskmaster looked awesome. He whooped a little bit of ass, and the music was ominous, and I was scared every time they brought Taskmaster back on screen. I was like, oh shit, someone's about to get their ass whooped. That's the only feeling I needed to get from that character.
As for me and my house, we will support Florence Pugh.
No. And like, that's not to say like you have to like every single decision that the MCU makes or whatever. You don't have to like shit. But saying, I don't like it because it's not like it is in the comics, that's fucking dumb. Get out of here.
No, I think there's two things here, because obviously the comics have such a backlog of things. They've been making these since the 50s, 40s, that there is a huge following of that, and it is informed several decisions down the road, and they've made these brilliant stories that people have latched onto and characters that people really do care about. Like, we all love Spider-Man, we all love Superman, and all Captain America is like the first ever comic book ever, and then it's just so obviously that is relevant. Like, we need that media to progress the media that we have. But there are more people that go to the movies that they need to make books. Movies for than read the original run of the Amazing Spider-Man. Like, you know what I mean? There's just more people that Kevin Feige has to give a fuck about. You know what I mean? He's just like, you know what? Like, Devin, like, I love that you love Kang the Conqueror, but I got to tell you, I don't give a shit. He's coming whenever he's going to come. So like, just take a seat really quick. Hey, thank you for coming into the movie theater. We really appreciate that. Thank you for your hard-earned money. I don't give a fuck that you read. I don't care. I'm making money.
I gotta make fucking Jaden, the 7-year-old from Albuquerque, buy Spider-Man toys. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I gotta worry about people in Timbuktu that are trying to buy this shit, and it's a give and a take, because when I see stuff in like sports movies that I've followed for a long time that's a little bit inaccurate, I'll be like the Leo pointing meme and be like, that's not what happened, and then you'll just like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? But with this, we're so far gone from things, and people like, when I heard they were making a Civil War movie and I knew what the Civil War was about, and like in the actual Civil War comics, Captain America hires somebody to kill Tony Stark hires somebody to kill Captain America, and they murder him. And there's just like all these war, but in like,
what?
Yes.
How
and
can
like,
Tony, if you're Iron Man, how are you going to go hire? You're Iron Man. Who you
go do that shit, bro.
Go fucking kill him. You make nuclear warheads. What do you mean hire somebody to kill?
What I'm saying is, in the Civil War run of the comics, people actually die. In the Civil War movie, they're just fighting in the parking lot of it, on the tarmac of an airport.
And that shit was awesome. I was very entertained.
I had a great time.
So
I had a great time.
You threw that shit out eons ago. So the constant complaining of look, it is a fraction of a percent of people in our mentions. Most people are like, dude, I cannot wait for No Way Home. I cannot wait. But like, there's a fraction there's a very vocal minority that is just like, but in the book that I read, you're just like, oh man, you're ruining it for everyone.
Let us have a good time. And that, again, you don't have to like everything that Marvel does. You don't have to just
nobody likes everything that Marvel does.
Let people like what they like.
Yeah, you don't have to be like, well, people like it, so and it's going to make a bunch of money, so obviously it must be good. Like, no, that's not what we're saying. We're just saying you don't give a fuck about what it's like in the comics. That's a really dumb reason not to like this movie. It's just
the guy
not going to be that way.
The guy that was intermentioned is like, I didn't like the movie because of the source material. We're just like, you got to.
I wouldn't know where to begin for the source material. I wouldn't even know where to. So like,
you got to really start viewing these things as two separate entities at this point, man.
We've been doing this for like more than a decade. Like, you know what it is at this point.
They're basically paying homage to certain comics. They're paying homage to the comics, but it's not. You don't walk into the movie theater expecting to see your favorite comic. You already have your favorite comic. Like, they're gonna make a couple references to it, and you're like, oh yeah, I know these characters, but that's about it. Like, Taskmaster is just like a name that you know, and maybe the power skill set is the same, but like, it doesn't. They've been doing. It's not like they're all of a sudden started departing from the source material. They've been doing it from the beginning. So
yeah,
let's just move on, bros.
Taskmaster is a name that you know. Like, and you know, people who played the Spider-Man game on PS4 know it. There's a lot of people with Xboxes out here, fam. They didn't play Spider-Man on PS4. Like, they know nothing about this character.
Oh man.
It just is what it is. There's a lot of us had no fucking idea anything about Taskmaster. So we just need a cool movie villain to show up and fight ScarJo in this Black Widow movie. If you think Taskmaster wasn't actually that cool, okay, fine. You can, say that. Fair criticism, whatever. But it's not like the comics. It's not the real Taskmaster. This Taskmaster is a fraud. It sucks. Kevin Feige ruined it. Like, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here.
In the comic books, Thanos has a helicopter in one of these things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not...
They tossed that into one of the Loki episodes.
Yeah, the Thanos copter.
What a dumb idea.
Kevin Sumlin.
Comics are bad if we fucking Thanos is helicopter.
Kevin Sumlin. Oh,
swag copter.
Oh man, Thanos going to pick up new recruits. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, that's Black Widow. We actually didn't spoil all of it for you, to be honest. So I think it's really still worth going and seeing. Come back to us when you do see it. I think we can do a retrospective of some of the Marvel films eventually one day. I mean, we've done Endgame and Infinity War, but we'll definitely do the Hawkeye series whenever that comes out. Yeah. We're doing Loki next. But this is something that I really want to get into. Instead of a draft, we're going to list our top 5 most anticipated Marvel TV shows or movies coming out in the next phase 4. So it doesn't matter kind of what order we go in, but we'll just go 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4 down the line. So Tej, go ahead. What is your number 5 most anticipated Marvel project?
My number 5 most anticipated Marvel project is Secret Invasion, which is a show that's going to drop in 2022. This is one of the few comic books that I've read. I'm very excited to actually see it. So I will team up with the comic book nerds and say, stick to the source material, Kevin. Like, let's do it. Let's do this.
Do it, Kevin. We'll break your knees. Take your hat away. Everybody knows you're bald. No, the Secret Invasion, that's one that I haven't looked into enough about, but it's like a Marvel's thing.
It's like Skrulls. It's like the Skrulls that they introduced in Captain Marvel. That's basically that. It's gonna be fucking badass, and I feel like it's already been weird because it's pretty much 100% sure that we've seen characters since Captain Marvel that are Skrulls that we haven't picked up yet. Like, we don't know. We think that they're who they look like, and it's going to turn out that some major character or some minor character at some point in one of these films or TV shows was a Skrull the whole time. Because it's just such an easy writing thing. Like, you could easily just write like, oh, that guy was a Skrull the whole time, and now we can write this new story from that. So we're gonna get a lot of crazy shit happening leading into Secret Invasion. So I'm very excited to see how it all pays off once we get there.
Olivia Colman and Emilia Clarke are in it.
Oh, really?
Emilia Clarke is my queen. So, well, actually, I don't like Emilia Clarke. I just like her as Daenerys, but I don't really like Emilia Clarke. But sure, let's time me up. Hopefully, we can put the blonde hair back on her. We can relive the old days.
Dex, go ahead. Number 5.
Number 5, I'm gonna go with the Eternals. It's coming out November 5th this year. I don't really understand that much about what the fuck the Eternals are even are, to be honest with you. But the trailer looked cool, and Angelina Jolie is in it. Gemma Chan is in it again. She's just sneaking back into the MCU.
Henry.
Yeah,
A ripped Kumail Nanjiani.
Yep.
yeah. This is gonna be a great. Kit Harington is in it. More Game of Thrones love. Salma Hayek. I just want to see what the fuck it is. Richard Madden, another Game of Thrones guy.
Also directed by Chloe Zhao.
Yeah, I just want to see what the fuck this is, what's happening. So yeah, that's at my number 5.
Shout out to Mr. Blah Blah for getting packed up for that.
That was the most random. I didn't understand why people like K-pop Twitter found his tweets and they did not like that tweet about the Eternals.
It was weird. Yeah, he got into K-pop. You never get into the K-pop Twitter.
Never.
Yeah, we love you, BTS. Shout out. This is tough. I'm gonna go with Shang-Chi as my number 5. It may be higher on some of y'all's list, but I really am very interested. This is gonna do Black Panther numbers at the box office. We're talking about this bringing the box office, Black Widow bringing the box office back. This is gonna bring the box office back whenever this comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Another movie about humans that can die, and there's going to be a bunch of kung fu. Like, sign me up, bro.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Absolutely.
That's dope as fuck.
A very just down to earth, normal. He just knows kung fu real good. Like, that's his superpower. So yeah, I'm actually really interested to see how they do that. So yeah, and I like that actor. He's all of the things that I've seen. He's really just charismatic and funny and. Kind of an unknown, but yeah. So Shang-Chi. Tej, number 4.
My number four is going to be Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which comes out in summer of 2022. I'm just really interested to see where they take that part of the franchise. Obviously,
I'm nervous.
Obviously, we don't really know what direction they're going to go with it. We know that they're not going to recast Black Panther yet. So it looks like we're going to be focused on some of the other characters. And I'm really just interested to see, obviously they made so much money with that first film. And although I love Chadwick's performance and Chadwick is great, like Chadwick is not the reason why that film made $1 billion. So they're still going to make another film that's going to make $1 billion. And I just really enjoy that film. And I'm really excited to see what they do with it. So I think that's going to be my number 4.
We rocking with Shuri after those vaccine comments.
No comment on any vaccine comments from any MCU stars.
We will not be speaking at this time. Thank you.
The black delegation would like pass on that question.
We're gonna check on that comment. I am interested, but I am kind of nervous to see how that plays out.
Me too.
Just because he was such a powerful force, and like that character represented a lot to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So. And also, it's just a really cool ass character. Like, so not having T'Challa in there, it's like,
yeah. Taskmaster throwing the T'Challa clause in this movie. I was like,
that was dope as hell.
Remember.
I like that.
I remember that. I was there. Dex, number 4.
For number 4, I'm gonna go with Guardians 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just want to see, what they're gonna do now that Gamora is back, but not really the same. Gamora really doesn't know who the fuck Star-Lord is. I feel like that's going to be comedy.
That's going to be funny.
Yeah. I think the new Thor movie comes out before that. So we'll see like whatever happens with Thor before we see Guardians 3. But I just really like their dynamic and how they worked them into Infinity War and Endgame. I thought that was really good. I thought they could have fucked that up, but they didn't. And just hanging out with the Guardians again. It's going to be fun. I'm always down for more Rocket Raccoon. So
we support Groot around here, so they're very excited.
Vin Diesel's best role.
His best role.
The best use of his talents or lack thereof.
My number 4 is, it was something that I wasn't super excited with until this movie. I am so down for the Hawkeye series now.
Let's go.
I'm so down for the Hawkeye series, not necessarily for the man himself, but
We don't care about Hawkeye.
there are 2 really good young actresses in this movie that I'm so excited to, like, hopefully they get to act across from each other a few times. But like I really am very excited for that, and seeing multiple episodes of Florence Pugh. So Hawkeye series. And I mean, look, people don't like Jeremy Renner. I get that, but I'm not taking anything away. He's a really good actor. I think he's a really good actor.
Yeah, and I know I'm in like the super duper minority here. I like Hawkeye in these movies. He's fun. He's cool. He doesn't do too much. It's just
not asked to do a lot.
Yeah, I fuck with Hawkeye.
He does nothing for me in these movies, but neither did Loki or Wanda. So I don't give a shit. I'm just going to be there for Florence Pugh and to advancement of the storyline. And I'm sure that they will make me like Hawkeye or make me hate Hawkeye, depending on what they want to do with it. And I'm in. Yeah. Let's do it.
I hope he changed his haircut, because that was an all-time terrible haircut.
It really was. But yeah, I thought Wanda was like the wackest bitch ever.
Facts.
After Infinity War. I mean,
now I can't wait to see her turn up on Doctor Strange.
Endgame, she kind of showed her ass a little bit. In Endgame, she was getting busy, but on WandaVision, I was like, I love this woman. I want to see Elizabeth Olsen do literally everything. So,
all right, Tej, number 3.
Wait, what was your number 3?
I just did number 4.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. You're right. My number 3 is going to be. Where'd it go? Oh, the Fantastic Four film. There's no date for it yet, but it's been announced.
I'm gonna assume it's gonna be Fantastic Four.
Yes. Well, obviously, you know, we have a weird history with Fantastic Four, just generally speaking, like the films that have come out.
There are 3 movies that are kind of movies.
Yes, exactly. They're only movies because I told them they were movies, but really, like, so I'm excited to see, who's
technically
those roles.
Technically, it's 4 movies. Sorry, go look that up. There's a movie that got shelved that you can find that was completed. By the way,
really?
Yeah, they came out in like the 90s.
That must have been absolute horseshit.
Yeah, it's garbage. Go look it up. Mr. Sunday Movies on YouTube has a breakdown of it.
But I'm very excited to see what they do with it and how the Fantastic Four fit into the larger MCU. So that's going to be my number 3. We don't know a lot about the movie right now, but I like the Fantastic Four. I didn't read the comics or anything, but I've always kind of liked those characters. So count me in.
Do us all a favor. Cast John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
Holy shit, that would be amazing.
Sorry, she's in A Quiet Place. Emily Blunt, his wife, has Sue Storm.
Boom. Let's just do it. I just want to hang out with those 2. I'm in. Let's do it.
Or, if you want to bring Jessica Alba back, I'm with that too. Like,
Bonk. Dex, number 3.
So yeah, my number 3 is going to be Spider-Man No Way Home.
I'll join you on this too, because that's my number 3 as well.
I'm so fucking excited for that.
That's my goat right there, man. That's my goat.
Tom Holland is the GOAT Spider-Man to me, and it's not even close. Like, I don't understand.
It's not close at all.
Really not. It's really not
close. It's not close at all.
People will dead ass look into your face and be like, Tobey Maguire was the best. Get the fuck out of here. Tobey Maguire was 35 in high school.
he was having to shave 13.
Tobey Maguire had a fucking noon shadow, like go through third period. He's got the fucking shadow from his mustache. Like, what are we doing, bros? He's not in high school.
Best indicator of that is Joe Manganiello is Flash in those movies. He is 38.
Tobey Maguire had a fucking mortgage, and
several people are paying child support in those movies.
And like, Tobey Maguire is so fucking goofy and dweeby. Like, I don't see how it's a debate at all between who's the best Spider-Man. It's Tom Holland.
Also, my
7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
Locking down Zendaya.
Yes, sir.
Legendary move from a legendary guy.
Yeah,
all time king shit from the GOAT Spider-Man.
Also, we just have to fucking know what happens after Mysterio blew the whole block up. It's like Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Fucking, they brought J. Jonah Jameson back from the original movies, and just everything was stupid lit. Like, the ending of Far From Home was just incredible. The post-credit scene and all that, just incredible movie setup. I'm so excited to see what they do. Obviously, we got all the rumors and shit about all the old characters coming back. We'll see what actually happens. But
I hope Gyllenhaal is back. Gyllenhaal was like a really good villain.
I thought he bodied it.
Yeah, Gyllenhaal was a really good villain, but also to the people in our mentions being like, they're not confirmed to actually be in the movie. Shut the fuck up. Both those Spider-Men are in this movie. They're
it fucking movie. Better be. I don't care if Andrew Garfield's in the movie because fuck those.
No, I do.
Andrew Garfield. No, but I definitely would love to see old Toby walk on screen. I'm in. Come in. Older Toby. He was older.
43-year-old Tobey Maguire is in this movie. Yeah, it just is. They're in this movie, by the way. They're just in this movie.
They gotta be. I need every fucking body. I don't care if it was already spoiled. I don't care if it leaked when it wasn't supposed to. Give me my shit.
Sign me up. Right?
Dude, they gotta find screen time for Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx. They gotta find screen time for Jake Gyllenhaal. They gotta find screen time for Vulture, who played
Zendaya.
Vulture. No, they gotta play who played Vulture.
Fuck,
Batman.
His name.
Michael Keaton. They gotta
Michael Keaton. There you
they
go.
gotta find screen time for Michael Keaton. They gotta find screen time for Tobey Maguire. They gotta find screen time for Andrew Garfield, Zendaya. They also gotta find screen time for the best Spider-Man, which is he's gonna be on screen for like 90% of the time because he's gonna have to go through all this stuff.
The GOAT.
I cannot fucking wait. Just hearing you describe what you just described, I'm like, I'm paying to see this film. Like, I don't even care what the plot is. Just
give me the 4-hour cut of this movie. I will pay for it on Disney Plus so I can watch it again immediately.
Oh my god!
All right,
give me Tom Hardy as Venom.
So my number 2.
Yeah, you're number 2.
So I was gonna say Spider-Man is my number 2, but I'm gonna pick something different because we just talked about it. But I'm also obviously very excited for Spider-Man. I'm gonna go number 2. I'm gonna go Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Again,
my number 2 as well. So I'll join you.
Like you were saying before, not something I was super like happy or like yay Doctor Strange. Like I like Doctor Strange, he's cool. Not a movie I was like super excited about until I fucking watched WandaVision, and now it's like, oh fuck, I cannot wait to see how this all plays out. I cannot wait to see Wanda as the villain. Sir. They literally just made. I was gonna go see the movie anyway, so it's not like they've made a change. But my excitement level went from like a 5 to an easy 10 just because we watched WandaVision, and that's the power of these TV shows. Sign me up. I cannot wait to see how it all ends. Wanda's gonna drop 37 in the first half of this film. I cannot fucking wait. Sign me up.
I'm hyped. That's my number 1, by the way.
They are breaking realities, and they've already just said, like, yeah, nothing's gonna be the same after this. And you're just like, okay, thanks.
And they said this was gonna have like horror elements and shit like that.
They brought in Sam Raimi, who's the one of the GOAT directors of Spider-Man 2. You know what I mean? Yep. So obviously he's there, like he knows all the ropes of making a superhero movie, but he's also like the GOAT horror genre guy.
He always does horror, yeah. And there's gonna be some horror elements. This shit's gonna bang, bro. I cannot wait. Sign me up.
This is gonna be incredible.
Also, the dude that wrote Loki is writing this movie.
Yep.
So, yeah. I think I think it's going to bend Marvel. I mean, they're starting to go out and above and beyond. But I think this is really going to do something where they're just going to like, all right, we can't, like, they're going to bring back like Iron Man or something. Like he's just going to like, they're going to do something crazy, I think, with this movie.
It's going to be off the wall, fucking batshit insane, but I'm so fucking ready. They can literally do whatever they want at this point. They have it set up perfectly, clean playing field. Like, just do whatever the fuck you want, and we'll ride with it. You've seen that we can handle this weirdo shit because you fed it to us in a TV show that we watch every fucking week. Just give us more.
You're number 2, Dex.
It's gonna be Thor: Love and Thunder.
This is my number 1, so we could just lump it in.
Yeah, after
it's my number 1. It's my number 1 as well.
Yeah, after Ragnarok and Infinity War and Endgame, I'm just on board for whatever the fuck Thor is doing now.
God, what a switch by Chris Hemsworth. Incredible pivot by that guy.
They were just like, okay, this Thor shit is not working. We're just going to have Taika Waititi come in here, write us some good-ass jokes, and we're just going to completely pivot. And it worked. Natalie Portman's back in the building. Kat Dennings is back in the building. Like, just give us more Thor shit, please.
I am cautious about this movie. You want to know why?
Why?
because Taika Waititi has all of a sudden gotten too big for his britches and is having like threesomes with Tessa Thompson and what's her name? Shit.
What a legend.
Yeah, and
Rita Ora.
Rita Ora. He's just out here like smooching people on set and getting paparazzi photos. All of a sudden, he went from making these small indie films to making this shit, and now he is too big for. I hope it doesn't jump the shark. Like I just hope it will, and that's why I'm so excited about it. Also, like, say what you will about Chris Pratt, I love him as Star-Lord, man. I really do. I really like him as Star-Lord. I like those characters. Chris Pratt puts asses in seats. He puts Republicans in seats. He's there, like. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So he puts
Republicans in seats.
He is charismatic. I will
He's
say.
Fucking Mitch McConnell.
Well, actually, my name is Star-Lord. No, that Tomorrow War movie had no business being as good as it was. It was actually really entertaining. That's 90% based on Chris Pratt. So I'm very excited to see him go up against the rapport that they had in Endgame. Very, very funny. I'm very here for that. So yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder is my number 2. And then Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, which we already talked about, is my number 1. So pretty similar top 3s, I guess, for us.
Yeah. I think anybody would really kind of agree with that. And that was kind of the consensus. A few people said Blade. Go ahead, Teach.
I'm excited about Blade. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
I was just going to say Ragnarok is the MCU movie I watch the most just because it's so easy for me to put it on at night if I want to get sleepy. I've probably seen pieces of it like 25, 30 times. So I just love it so much. And so I'm easily my number 1 just because I cannot fucking wait to be back with those characters. I just can't wait to see Thor just trading
Guardians. Sign me up.
Yeah, I'm ready for the time travel aspects in Ant-Man Quantumania, although I like Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, although those movies have been completely forgettable. Yeah. But like, yeah, I'm ready for the time travel aspect of that. I think Evangeline Lilly and him have a good rapport though as well. But
for sure.
Those movies have just kind of been forgettable. So like that's why it doesn't really make the list. Somebody said Moon Knight. I'm here for that only because Oscar Isaac.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's gonna be him. Yeah, that'll be fun. Pretty much all these things. I'm absolutely.
Well, everyone's here
for sure.
For it, yeah.
But yeah, Moon Knight is definitely gonna be good, especially if it's anything like those comic pages that I've seen. So
no, I mean that's a fake comic page. The Dracula, you fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not real?
That's not real.
Oh man, you ruined my that makes me laugh every time I see it on the timeline.
Dracula, you big fucking nerd. Here's my
I
goddamn money.
Fake. I didn't know that was fake.
that isn't real, but it is very funny every single time I see it. All right, that has been our Black Widow episode. Very anticipated review by us, if we do say so ourselves. Thank you so much for liking, downloading, subscribing. Thank you so much for interacting with us on Twitter. Makes our day so much better when we get that kind of interaction that we did today for the Marvel question. But yeah, Dex, where can they go to buy some dope Houston merch, please? Thank you.
Yeah, if you go to apollohiu.com, you can find just the dopest Houston merch you've ever seen in your life. We've already got shitting on the Yankees for giving up a walk-off homer to Altuve.
Hey, please, bros. Please don't do this.
Ah, man. Things you hate to see, and by hate, I mean love.
Oh, brother.
We got the Hose Mad Park shirt going crazy right now. I have one back here behind me somewhere. But, yeah, man, just all the fire Houston merch you could want. We have it. You can also buy One Take Podcast t-shirts if you're so inclined. Mm-hmm. You can use promo code One Take Pod to get 10% off when you go to apollohiu.com and shop the store.
That's promo code One Take Pod. Be sure to leave us a review, please. Go follow our YouTube channel as well. And by the way, we just made a TikTok channel, so you can see all of our highlights from these shows. Probably Dex's rant. I'm about to put that on
Yes.
TikTok. But
I'm tweeting that shit as soon as this episode drops.
But yeah, thank you so much for going and following our social media accounts, One Take Pod on all social media accounts, One Take Podcast Show at gmail.com, and leave us a 5-star review and rate us. We really, really, really appreciate it. Or just rate us or just leave us 5-star. Just interact with us, please. All right.
Please.
Dex, what are we doing?
Hashtag support Florence Pugh. The MC Pugh is here.
The GOAT.
It is our fucking time. Everyone fucking knows at this point. People literally were walking out of the theater tweeting me that they understand what we've been talking about for a year now. You're welcome. I told you. Now we're all here. Her rise is imminent. She's gonna be winning Oscars and doing fucking blockbusters too at the same time. Like we're here to support Florence Pugh.
We stand a queen. We're out.